Live from the internet and recorded on this beautiful April 24, 2019, this is the Crystal Chronicles, your number one fan favorite, top rated, official and unofficial Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. This is episode 51. My name is Pierre, and I'm joined as usual by my good friends Mark and Mino Spell. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Pierre. It's nice to have you with us.
Yeah,
Thank
welcome
you.
back, Pierre. It feels like it's been a while, right?
I know, right? Stupid life getting in the way of things.
Mm.
Live,
It'd be
life
much more
and
easier if people just like died and left me alone. I could do
mm,
podcasts all the time.
life and complicated lockpicking.
Oh yeah, lock picking. That's been something I've been keeping myself busy with.
I've been following your exploits.
Yeah, I go by the day as a badass physical pen tester lock picker, and during the evenings I do rage fits on my bag shed door where I can't open the stupid lock, and I just rip the stupid thing off the frame.
Just cut it.
That was a humility lesson right there. That's what it was. So, how are you guys? How was your week? How was your Easter? Chocolate filled?
I did have my delicious Cadbury Easter eggs, chocolatey cream eggs.
Well, what did you do, Mark? Because I know you said you had a very busy Easter, right?
Well, he's a reverend, so he had to like preach and
I
stuff,
know,
right?
what?
right? Like, did you lead sermons all day? Did you lead a egg
What?
hunt for the kids?
What? Yeah, I had church on Easter. Because that's yeah. So we had a we had stuff throughout the week. If you don't know, obviously in the Christian tradition, there's a lot of stuff going on that week in between Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday. But on Easter itself, I had a 7 o'clock service, and then I had a completely different service at 10:15 a.m. And then we had breakfast in between. And then we hosted our family at our house, and so it was a long day and a good day and a lot of fun. So we had the big egg hunt. The big egg hunt was the Saturday before in one of the little towns. It's a town of about 400 or 500 people right near me, and they host a
Mm.
massive egg hunt, which thousands of people come to. 30,000 Easter eggs. The kids collected those 30,000 Easter eggs in a minute and a half, less than 2 minutes. Yeah.
Funny story. About 2 or 3 years ago, there was in a town close to where I live called Laval, an event called the Cocoton, cocoa bean, an egg. Um, and they actually didn't have like enough eggs for the amount of people that were showing up, and it was very, very poorly organized and everything. And people ended up like throwing all the fences on the ground and running on the field and
Wow.
stealing like eggs from children and everything and almost fighting. If you look for it on the internet, Laval, Laval, and Cocoton, Cocothon, it's glorious. It's seriously glorious. It's not like it's a running gag now.
Wow.
It's how not to do something.
Hmm.
So,
I'll
Awesome.
Google
yeah.
that right after the show.
Oh no, it's seriously it's terribly. Let me like find a picture. Uh, okay, I'm gonna post like a picture on our Twitch. It just gives you an idea. Oh shit, that that didn't go well at all.
Yeah, that does give me a crazy idea. Whew,
That was not
gonna
what I
short
thought
gonna
would
short that one
happen.
up. I'm not
I
putting
know,
that
right?
into my search engine bar.
Oh, that did not go well at all.
Oh goodness, there we go.
All
Pop that
right, so
up.
if you click on that link, it's basically you're seeing the
No.
beginning of the thing, but they threw all metal fences on the ground,
Oh
and
wow,
everybody just starting running like chickens with their heads cut off. Yeah, it was madness.
it's madness.
So yeah, and it's super Final Fantasy related
Yeah,
because
yeah.
chocobos lay eggs, right?
That That's
Oh
true.
yeah,
They
yeah.
do. And we have Easter eggs in the game right now that I
We
have been
do. We
using.
absolutely totally do. And speaking of Easter eggs, something that is absolutely unrelated to that, there was a presentation by Square Enix last week, and incredibly enough, they announced a couple of quality of life updates that are already in the game. So we're going to talk about what's already in the game right now. Beginning with, the thing you will notice as soon as you open your game, all of those annoying white flashes that you would see every now and then while you wait for a game to load are now history. They've been replaced with loading screens that are, I gotta admit, totally badass.
I never knew I
I
needed
miss
them.
I miss the old
Mino.
screen. I thought Mark, I thought you were on my
I,
team
I
here.
was I
For
was
some
I was team
reason,
white screen, but I kind of like the new screens.
I think most people really do like the new screens. Obviously, on Reddit, someone made a post about it, tons of upvotes, but there are people on our server the last few days who said they kind of missed the white screen. Not for any logical reason or anything, just little things here and there, but I
I, I
I don't
am
know.
I am distracted sometimes because they have
Yeah.
put the loading screen for everything, and so like I'm in the main map right now, and if I hit back, it will give me a real quick loading screen, and so sometimes
Right, right.
that like distracts me. Like if it was just white, like oh look at picture, and by the time I look at the picture, it's already changed. So,
All
Yeah.
right, yeah. So,
but
so
the art,
basically,
the
what you
chapter
want,
artwork is really cool, and yeah, they even got the chapter artwork for the next chapter that we currently don't have yet already on there. So that's neat too.
what you want is you want Square to code into something that says if loading time is less than like 5 seconds, make him wait at least 5 seconds.
Yeah,
That's what I'm.
I would like to have more loading screens. That's correct.
Okay.
And
We'll pass
some
that
trivia.
message along.
I would like some trivia in my loading screens, like a little quiz. You know,
Hey,
interactive
you know
quiz.
what?
That would be great.
That's not a terrible idea. Other than it passively aggressively reminding me to update my user data and shared character.
That would be great. Yeah.
But speaking of things that are changed, don't you think the main window, like where you see your five characters and everything, is getting a little bit crowded?
Yeah, it's a little crowded.
Yeah, but I mean, I thought it was a little empty before, to be honest.
Okay, so
There are now
it's a
things.
no-win scenario. That's what I'm
The
getting.
the
The
little ticker at the bottom's I think all they added was a little ticker at the bottom and then a little the chocobo panel on the top right, right? That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mog
Well,
is down on the bottom, spouting
yeah.
off stuff.
Mog took a dump, and no, that's not the right way to say it. But Mog was placed in at the end of the screen, and you've got the chocobo panel mission top right now. And speaking of panel missions, it's a brand new thing. It's going to happen twice a month. With it right now, there's the tutorial board, which it's kind of funny thing. It's a cute little thing for simple acts in the game, doing simple things like using a support item, changing your support characters. You get certain rewards, and just like in a nice little bingo or tic tac toe, when you complete um, three horizontal or vertical items, you get gems. So right now it's a rain of gems upon you, players.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
make sure you take.
it's about 1,000 gems per panel. So there's 3 panels currently, and I completed them all before tonight. The
It's
only the
best
the
time to re-roll if you ever wanted to, right
yeah.
before Kuja and that next power creep. Now new players get more gems than ever to work with, right?
But so the only one that took a while was the 10 co-op missions, but I was able to, or 20 co-op missions. I don't know. Yeah, 20 co-op missions. The other one that is giving people trouble in the third panel is the tutorial panels. There are 3 tutorial panels. The third panel is the spend power tokens. So you have to do something in the weapon shop. I've already spent tokens in the weapon shop, so that wasn't an issue. But several people have not spent any weapon tokens, and so that is kind of an issue if you want the final gems and the final prize, then you have to spend some weapon tokens. So
But I mean,
you don't have to. You can hold on
to
to
be
them.
fair, they give you the 10 and you just spend that and it's like a net,
Yeah. No, right.
yeah, evens out, right? Just to get more
Yeah,
rewards,
you
more
get
gems and
5
stuff.
armor tokens for the first panel, 10 power tokens for the second panel, and 4 power stones for the third panel. And then you end up every cross or diagonal or complete, you get 100 gems. So you get about 1,000 gems per panel as well, which is nice. So and the tomes, tons of tomes. How many tomes do you end up with? The tomes are the good ones. The 3 times you get 14 of each tome, which is awesome.
The
Right?
major tomes or something.
Yeah, the 3 times tomes, the 3 times books. So that
Oh, I
was what
didn't
I
even
was.
realize there were
Yeah,
3 times ones. That's
yeah.
really good.
That is what I was most excited about. 14 of each of those.
Yeah, there's definitely never too many tomes. What else is new in there? There's the accept all buttons, which is great when you're, trying to get multiple quest rewards all at the same time.
That's going to be
It's
great for those score requirement co-ops. If we ever get one of those like community achievement where
oh,
every
dear
like
God,
10
yes.
points you get a reward. And you have to like spend 6 hours, after you wake up after it launches, clicking on all the accepts. So that will be nice. The
You're
daily missions,
absolutely
it's
right.
fine, but I mean it does make things a little easier. But it
It's
wasn't
only
a
the
big
daily
issue.
one that doesn't get it, right?
No, the daily missions I think had accept all.
They said
Oh yeah, no,
one
no,
of one or two.
yeah.
Did you
All
figure?
3 panels, dailies, player, and events all have accept all.
Okay, I could have sworn Josh said one of those tabs was not
Crease is
included.
saying on Twitch that Joshua corrected it. All of them
Ah,
have it, so he was
okay,
wrong, or
got it.
the screen was wrong, the slide was wrong, or he was
Okay,
wrong. Someone
Yeah,
was
yeah,
wrong.
blame the slide.
Someone
That's
was
that's
wrong.
cheap. That's cheap.
aren't they the ones that put together the slide
Yeah,
though?
no. They come
Of
from
No,
course they are.
they come
they gotta
from
be right.
uh
Content subject to change. Wanabu reminds us is what they put on every
yeah,
single slide.
right.
So they covered their asses. We can't say anything. They got us there.
AKA, we reserve the right to be wrong.
Exactly. um, my favorite quality of life change that apparently they mentioned offhand in the stream that we're about to get to is there's a tracker on mission objectives now,
Yeah.
like a high score. So if it says beat it under a certain amount of turns, they say your best turn completion or your highest score completion. And I think that's really handy. That's something I've always wanted. And I know like a lot of people, this is such a minor thing, but when people are uploading runs to like Macnol's thread or the subreddit to kind of say like how they did, this can tell you exactly how they did it with what team instead of us guessing or I don't know. It's a nice little touch that for some reason I found great. I don't think they have this in JP, right? If anyone in chat can
Oh, I don't
correct me.
know. That's a good question.
Yeah. I know the accept all they don't have in JP. So
Oh,
that's very
suck it,
exciting.
Japan.
Yeah, JP players were a little pissy about us getting that.
I don't. What that doesn't
Um,
like. They got more time over there. Click their buttons. Shut up and click your buttons.
something that GB players certainly are not pissed about because probably they don't care to have the same. The Koopa Cards Mini are going to be back between April 24th and 29, and there's a new Warrior Gem Cell, basically Gem Cell for new players, and it's reopened for all players if I'm not mistaken.
It is
Yes.
So,
reopened for us currently, and it's the same price as a normal gem sale. But if you get the packs, they are a little bit better.
I think someone on Reddit who does they do the number crunching to say how much each bundle is worth, and they said the $1, the lowest cost
Oh yeah, it's
bundle
the
for this
best.
one is the best deal we've ever had in the game.
Yeah, the
It's what one
500,
yeah
500 gems for 99 cents in in North America, at least in the United States.
Yeah, and you get what else with the gems? You get some other
Five
stuff.
armor
Right?
I'm
tokens.
looking at it now. It's 5 armor tokens, 10 chocobo tail feeders, 30 higher power and guard obes, and 20 Kgl.
It's a good deal for a
That's a good deal.
dollar.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark and I are not free to play, so this is a drop in the bucket for us. I bought the $37 one, by the way, Mark, because we were talking about bridging the gap.
Yep.
We usually buy 2 costumes a month, and they only had 1 this month.
I probably will too.
So
So you had to throw in more money somewhere else.
yeah,
That's
that's what Mark and I were
100%
saying. We're like, this is excess money we have to spend. And then I think they're slowing down on the costumes too, Mark. So whatever are we gonna do going forward? 1 costume a month.
It's going to be
Cue
sad.
in the Futurama gif. Shut up and take my money.
Yes.
Exactly.
More costumes, more things to spend. Like the fake, like the costume that I don't. Yeah, we do have 2 costumes next month. Just one of them is not. We'll be talking about that here in a minute. Anyway.
Yeah. Don't go
No
ahead of
spoilers.
yourself there. Yeah, we'll spoil in like 5 minutes.
We'll talk about it.
So yeah, let's move on to the rest of the Square Enix mobile stream and things that are not in the game right now. Basically, they're going to be heretics with no boosted characters between the 2nd of May and the 6th of May. What are the exact dates there?
There are actually 4, or no, are the let me look at the calendar. Are the co-ops different than the heretic missions? Right?
Yeah, they are. The co-ops are. I think there's going to be quote unquote heretic co-ops. I don't know what those are going to be, but these new heretics are interesting, as people in chat are already saying. This is what JP has apparently been beta testing for us for a while now.
Oh, we thank them.
Yeah. Right now, they're just starting to implement in JP, so it looks like they're going to bring it over to GL at the same time.
Yeah, so it says Heretic Challenge Quest. I'm looking at the official event schedule. 5/2 to 5/30, and then in the midst of the month there will be 4 different co-ops. Crossroads of Illusion 1, 2, 3, and 4. Mm-hmm. So Heretic Challenge Quest, and then the 4 different co-ops. Oh no, the co-op quests are different.
Yeah, I think it's 1 co-op a week, they said, this month.
Okay, so yes, because it says co-op quest 5/15 to 5/29. Is that Act Chapter 2, Act 2, Chapter 2?
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah,
because
Act 2, Chapter 2 drops on the 15th, right?
Yeah, so that also has a co-op?
It should, because we got one for the last one, right?
Okay, yeah. So there's going to be lots of co-op.
These heretics are supposed to be this new thing that JP's been trying. I don't know how well it's going over in JP, because we talked about some of the controversy about chaos difficulty and the whole like silver, bronze, and gold plating for the names. Yeah. But coming to us, I don't know if they're going to do it exactly the same, because right now it says power and magic chasm, right? Which is what all our other heretics have been. Basically, in JP, they got just a series of really difficult fights, can't repeat characters, no synergy, so you can't use synergy characters to do multiple fights, and they're all supposed to be around the same level, so it's all about having like really diverse teams. What was... I lost my train of thought. Yeah.
Kreese is correcting me. The Crossroads of Illusion are the summoning co-ops. 1 summon a week. Yes. And those will be boosted, but for all characters. So the Heretic Challenge quests, the Heretic Challenge quest will be around all month. So we'll have all month to do them, which is nice. That means you'll get to use any of these new characters. If if you're like us, you're going to want to try to beat it on the 2nd, but if you wait a few weeks and are pulling for people like Kuja and Kistis and maybe those other people who might be in the game who we don't know because they're just silhouettes, they might really help you. But yeah, so this is going to be forcing us to use not a small group of characters, but a larger group of characters.
Yeah, I don't know how big they're going to make it. Japan's first one, I believe, was 3 stages, so you needed 9 solid characters.
Oh, that's not bad.
And now they're increasing it to around like 5-6 stages.
Yeah.
But I doubt they're gonna drop that on us right away. The concern is this is coming when the next power creep is coming with Kuja and Quistis and so forth. So people are assuming the difficulty is going to be really high. And if it is really high and not meant to be beaten the first day, I guarantee you the shitstorm that's going to hit Reddit and Discord when it drops is going to be that's what happened in JP with when it dropped. People were just raging that it wasn't beatable in the first day and started saying that the developers were cheating them, even though they said it was meant to take a month and a lot of time. So
look
And
forward
then
to
you know
that.
when content drops and they beat it on the first day, everybody starts whining that content is too easy and there's no challenge. So nobody's ever happy about anything. That's what we need to keep in mind here. Ain't nobody ever happy. Okay, moving on. You were talking about Kuja and Questis. Their last chapters are dropping on May 9th and May 22nd. What do we have to expect from those two last chapters? What's going to be the end game there?
Awesomeness.
Want to cover this, Mark?
Kuja's awesome. Kistis is awesome. I'm spending up to 150,000 gems to get both of their EXs. So.
Wait, are you really trying to go for both of them all in?
Oh yeah, I'm going for both of them.
What about everything else coming up in the next month or two?
I am getting both of those EXs. I'm just laying it on the. It's not a. Oh, am I? Maybe I'll throw. No, I am getting Kuja and Kistis EX.
I mean, knowing you, 30K.
So again, it's a shut up and take my money kind of thing there.
They're getting it. Nothing else. I'm not pulling on anything else this month. Maybe some tickets on the early EX release or a rework, but I'm not sure we're going to get a ton more of those. We'll see.
Star Shadow's asking, do you have the gems to pity both?
I do currently have the gems to pity both. I have 100.
What are you at again?
172,000.
All right, but that's going to empty your stash.
172,670. Well, and I got a whole month to make up more gems so that I can pity Renoa the month after.
You're not going to go for Lena, who's coming in less than a month from Quistis?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I thought we convinced you. How about Golbez?
Nope. I don't
How
need Golbez if I got Renoa, who comes
if
like
you
a
can
week
get
later.
Renoa. I'm prepared to pity all this.
I have a spreadsheet figuring this out until next year. I have done the math.
You know what? I'm
Stupid
super
organization. It's like way too much.
Right?
I have done the math. I know exactly who I can pity.
I'm counting on you, Mark, because your supports are usually always the best. One of the best. Like, you had one of the best Lails that I used for a bunch of clears, and you had one of the best... oh, man. I think we had one of the best Squalls I had on my list. But basically, there's very few people that are my go-tos that always farm amazing artifacts. You're definitely one of them for sure.
I'm going to get that Kistis looking real nice.
Thank you in advance.
Nice shine on her. Gonna wax up that whip. Let's get the spandex on the jumpsuit. It's gonna be real nice. Real nice. Do you wax whips? I don't know.
Dedication right there.
Now a question that I don't have the answer to. The Eidojas. Are we going to get them now for every event, or so every character coming out now? Are we getting Eidojas for? Do we know
I don't
that?
have the answer to that.
Yeah,
either.
I don't have the answer to that.
I don't think
I'm going to be really pissed if we get Kuja. Well, we'll see when Locke hits tonight if we get Eidojas for Locke. Because it might suck if we don't get Eidojas for like 3 or 4 months after we just got Eidojas for 12 crappy people.
It's not going to be for the LCs, that's for sure, because even when JP made them more abundant, it was co-op drops only, and LCs don't have co-ops.
Oh, that's true. You're true, yeah.
So you're going to have to grind the hard way for Kuja and Quistis through the WOIs and the Eidojas. Come on, it's not that bad. You've been doing it this whole time, Mark.
I have. That's why I do not have max skill.
And now you have times 3 books, 14 free
I do.
times 3 books to help you.
I use those for co-ops that I
I look
suck at.
forward to your perfect Quistis, Mark.
I will. I will invest the time and energy to make my Kistis beautiful.
All right. Moving on. So now that we've talked about Lost Chapters, World of Illusions, Bahamut Bahamut is going to be a permanent World of Illusion in 5 days. That's on
Free
April
gems.
29th. What?
Yeah, this
Oh
whole
yeah,
week is
gems.
gems, yeah.
Free gems.
And Diablos is coming on May 24th. More gems. Now, in terms of new characters being introduced to the game, Locke is being introduced in a few hours. Then
30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes. Then there's 2 secret characters that we don't know. It's Barrett and Rosa that are going to be introduced on May 6th.
Wait.
And May 20th.
Barrett and Rosa, I thought it was 7 or 8 and 9. I thought we decided
7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, 9. repeat 7. 7 gets her own event. I know she was a chapter character, but she gets her own event now. And
I love how
8,
you're
9.
just pulling for random FF characters. You just go 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12.
So,
Barrett
Mark, you're going to be
and
pulling
Rosa.
like crazy on Barrett, right?
I am going to be passing on Barrett, and that is not a nothing against Barrett, whose character I like quite a bit. He is just kind of lackluster. So, sorry, Barrett. But all the Tifa fans get the Tifa EX, which I am also passing on because, yeah, no EX is going to help that mess.
Well, I don't know. It's this whole thing. I remember when Tifa launched with her EX, it was really like top tier for until Kucha came out.
It was really top tier for 3 days.
For like a week. But
for her event.
But the point is, JP players are saying now that we got Thancred early, it kind of invalidates this entire month. Nobody coming out this month other than Kucha. Like Barrett, Tifa, and Locke all can't hold a candle to Thancred. So it's kind of they're saying maybe releasing Thancred early wasn't such a good idea because there's no incentive to pull for new characters for a while.
That hasn't stopped everyone, but
we'll see. Let's see how many people pull Locke. I'm guessing I'll see 1 or 2 on my friends list, and 1. I'll see 1. It'll be Kreese.
Yeah, Thancred and Bart's early reworks do change things up a bit, especially those characters that are DPS. You know, like Locke tonight. I mean, Locke's a DPS character. Okay, well, Bart's and Thancred are kind of higher tier DPS characters right now. So
right, and they do a lot more. I mean, they were saying. I remember some JP players were saying that Bart's and Thancred alone could probably carry you until the Cosmos era drops.
I'm not sure about that, but maybe. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
All right. What else do we have on the plate? There's a new story chapter introducing Paladin Cecil, dropping on May 15th, which is the good version of Cecil.
It's the Paladin version of Cecil.
Yep, which is the best one.
But remember, you cannot use Dark Knight Cecil and Paladin Cecil together.
Nope, you can't.
Not that you would ever want to use Dark Knight Cecil at this point anyways.
Not that is the thing that you would want to do.
On the ban she goes.
Poor Cecil. Cecil does kind of a little bit of everything, though, doesn't he?
We'll
talk about him later.
I heard. Yeah, we'll talk about him later.
Well, Dark Knight Cecil had a good run. I mean, there's other characters that have been on the bench since day one. At least this one, was part of the meta for a couple of events.
Yeah, that's true.
Shine.
I know. He's a giant meme on the Reddit because Troisius always draws those comics, but he was meta for almost the entire period before 60 Awakenings, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Many a co-ops, 3 Dark Knight Cecils, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, like for 3 months in a row, people they don't even bother bringing synergy characters. Oh right, because before co-ops were score based, we forget.
They were score based.
Dark Knight Cecil was the best option for months and months and months.
I'm glad they
Now
no
that we
longer are.
now that we've talked about all the great content that's going to be dropping, somebody has to pay them bills. And for that reason, there's going to be 2 new costumes dropping on May 9th and May 23rd for you guys to drop your hard-earned cash on. And these costumes are Yuna's Gunner costume. No, not Gunner. What is it?
No, yeah,
The
no, it
bright one?
is. Yeah, it is.
It's
It's a
Gunner, yeah.
repeat.
Oh,
We've already
Gunner.
had it. Yep.
Okay, and Kuja's costume, which
is a
is
mess.
weird.
Yep, it's terrible. I forget where is it actually from. The terrible
FF102, right?
Kuja's costume?
Kuja's
Oh,
not.
Kuja's is a concept art. It's a concept art thing.
Okay, so now they're just dropping nonsense.
It looks like it looks like Kuja's just Halloween costume. I'm pretty sure. So.
Apparently, to get really deep and nerdy with the lore, they said there was supposed to be a part in FF9 that they cut. Kuja was supposed to be disguised as a nobleman in Treno, if you remember that town, the really big fancy noble town where that Professor Bird is from. Do you remember
Professor Bird.
Yeah, isn't that where the auction is?
Yes, the auction. Yeah, that town. Yeah,
and the pit
and then
fighting.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a part in the story where Kuja was supposed to be disguised.
Wait, that's in Final Fantasy VI where you buy the Magicite, right? No, wait, I'm in the wrong.
Star Shadow
Sorry.
says you don't like Kuja's all costume because he puts on pants. Too true. Why hide that? Why hide that magnificent package?
They dug deep for Kuja because 1, he didn't have any costume changes in his game, sadly, and 2 is he was a character in Dissidia. All the Dissidia characters in the fighting games got multiple alternate costumes, so I guess they had to pull from.
If only Kuja had some alternate form, or I don't know, like what would you call it? Like a trance that he would go into and look different.
Now
weird.
You're just saying silly stuff.
Too bad he didn't have one of those.
All right,
I'm going to buy it, so I don't know why we're talking about it.
So, World of Illusion campaigns have SP cost for older trials, weekly co-op, based on the World of Illusion, part of the World of Illusion campaign, and World of Illusion weapons are returning as well.
Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that, actually. I'll do a half-off pull for the World of Illusion weapons. I only have one of them.
Yeah, I think I only have one, too. I think I have Vaughn's.
I have Vaughn's and Squall's, so I'll take anyone else's.
Yeah.
Clouds becomes useful as he gets stronger.
Yeah, I was thinking about Clouds, and I don't have Bart's EX, but I would have thought about Bart's if I had his EX.
Bart's is another good. I'm using Bart's without the EX, and I plan to go forward doing so. So his World of Illusions adds to his aura, right?
I got my simple mastery boosts on Bart, so it'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm actually excited about these banners and the half off SP cost for the World of Illusions are perfect for new players. I know we have several players in our Discord and community, Aemons in particular, I think, that don't have Bahamut or some of the earlier ones, and now that they're coming back permanently, they can farm it up real fast and get straight to the meta.
Yes, but do recall in Japan that the World of Illusion weapons are available in the weapon shop, or there's a different weapon shop for them. So
that was 2-year anniversary, though.
Yeah,
if we wait as long, they're probably not going to be nearly.
They're probably not going to be super helpful, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to Spring Aunts and Eidoja farming. What's your take on Eidoja farming? Is it awesome or is it terrible? Is it like the best thing since sliced bread or the worst thing since Donald? No, wait, the worst thing since something terrible.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of no reds. So.
Well, I mean, so what do you think of it so far? I of course am not farming artifacts at all as usual, but I'm sure you are, right, Mark?
I've done about half an hour grinding on each one, so I have a good mix of each of the 12. I don't know. I'm not super impressed. because none of the characters are particularly useful right now. So I think
That's really fair.
of the characters that we have for these Eidojas, which are of course the 5-star artifacts that can be up to 6-star.
Yeah.
Really, the only one that I spent a considerable amount of time on was Bart's to get his simple mastery buffs. So I was thinking, oh well, I can, I might do a little bit more for Warrior of Light before it ends. I might do a little bit more for Cloud before it ends. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these other characters, is it really worth? And some of them I already have decent arts for. The big one for me would be Warrior of Light. I do not have the 6-star class change, which I would like. So
so to give some history on this, because I think I wanted to do this last episode, we didn't find a way in, is that once again, I think JP players are saying GL has the better deal here, because when it launched for them, they were all items in the co-op shop, and they were only for the 6 characters that got the reworks through the Eidojas, as we've talked about before, the ones that desperately needed reworks and got super powerful Eidojas. So you had to run the co-op a million times, which I would have hated, to buy 200 tokens for 6 characters. And the thing is, there were only 200. There is a limited amount, so you can only fuse a limited amount. And if you didn't get lucky, that was it. So JP saying we get the better deal because, one, we have a bigger character pool for it, but half of the characters suck, but half of them are still okay to farm for, I guess. And they're saying even though it's painful, at least we have a potentially unlimited amount of Eidojas. So I mean, from that point of view, I could see it as GL getting the better deal, but
so here's my only concern, and you can tell me what you think. My only concern right now in terms of farming for these Eidojas, which I'm not really going to use because of the characters currently, the only one that I might use a few of them here and there, but it's not like I need the artifacts for them right now. I don't want to get real low on stamina potions, nor do I want to get low on books of treasure with summoning boards around the corner. I mean, if we're talking about summoning boards next month, I want to have a pretty healthy stash of treasure books and stamina potions to help grind those summon boards.
That's completely fair, but some of these characters are future-proof, quote unquote, like Warrior of Light. We know Bart's is going to last us for a while into Cosmos for sure. Is the word. Who else? Are there any other really good characters here?
Again, Warrior of Light and Cloud are going to get moments.
Yeah, Cloud.
Warrior
Cloud,
of Light,
of course.
Obviously, is going to be super awesome.
I mean, probably great for new players to catch up on if they need it. But you're right. These characters aren't the best to farm for. It's okay to hold off. I wouldn't say go super crazy. Blow all your... I don't know. To me, potions seem to rain from the sky. You get so many from Dissidia points. Like, I'm always looking for things that
Wadabu has 500. So...
Yeah, I'm closing in on 300 because
you gotta be kidding.
Every co-op shop is...
Yeah, you don't farm them like I do.
Every co-op shop is what? Like 10, right? Every event?
I have 121 stamina potions, but I use them frequently to farm artifacts.
And then every week you get excess Dissidia points, correct? Especially now when we get triple the amount of Dissidia points every day. All of my excess Dissidia points goes to potions.
No, I always buy the stamina potions,
Yeah, so I'm getting at least every week. You're getting like 3 surplus at least. Now with the triple, probably a lot more. So, I mean, I feel like potions are kind of cheap. I don't know. But you're right. I don't farm as hard. The only time I ever use
apparently everyone has more stamina potions than I do.
Yeah, I think you're just using them. You must be like popping them and falling asleep or something, Mark, because everyone I know is 200 plus at least.
No, I pop a double book and I burn through half an hour of artifact farming, and I just keep burning stamina potions. And
even my friend who hardcore farms, I think, is above 100. Oh, you're above 100 too.
I am above 100,
But I mean, I also think if you're saving 100 plus potions to run summon boards for, there's no way you're gonna burn through. You're gonna burn out on attention span before you
Yeah,
burn out on potions. I mean,
probably.
why not take your goddamn time and play like because you get a full stamina restore like twice a day, so that's three full
Yeah.
runs a day for summon boards. Are potions really that necessary?
Yeah,
I don't
right,
know.
right. I think you're right there too. It's not the same as grinding the artifacts where you have that limited time window, that half an
Yeah,
hour window to try to get as many as you can.
yeah, you got to be crazy to want to burn through
Yeah.
each Yeah,
All right. Yeah. Well, so Idojas are obviously better than their predecessors. It's a lot easier to get the double reds and a lot easier to get two of them. The 2-star things or the full stat buffs, but it's still not assured, and there's a lot of duds.
right. I wanted to put out that PSA a while ago too. People keep thinking, oh, once Eidojas are
Oh
here,
yeah, no,
artifacts
it's
aren't a thing anymore. Guys, RNG is still RNG. 50% chance to get an orange is still a 50% chance. And then someone did a breakdown on Reddit, I believe. So it's 50% chance to get an orange.
yeah.
12.5% to get a specific orange.
Yep.
And then it's like less than 2% chance to get two oranges that you
It's
two specific
yeah.
oranges you want. Like it's still a ridiculous. Like it doesn't make it easier. RNG is still RNG. Artifact grinding is still artifact grinding. Nothing's gonna take that away from this game.
Would you rather it be a system where you grind for points and you can just like get the orange the specific orange you want, once you have a certain amount of points, like a
Well,
artifact thing shop?
that's kind of what
I
summon
would.
boards are, though, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what summon boards are. That would be better for the player, but I've long accepted that RNG is a part of every game. For
Oh yeah,
example,
no, I'm
yeah,
just shooting
yeah,
shit. I'm just wondering if, kind of like, in obviously all comparisons are terrible, but kind of like the talent system in World of Warcraft, where
hmm,
you get certain points, at certain level, and you spend them on talents and stuff. Yeah, and most people will have like a cookie cutter, uh, uh, thing that if you're using this or that character, this is exactly the abilities that you want, but it would be probably a lot less frustrating. At least you would grind toward a reachable goal. I mean, you could say, well, if I do 60 more runs,
yeah.
I'm going to get exactly this.
Yeah. And like Mark said, summon boards is their answer to that. That is a long grind for guaranteed rewards. But
Oh, okay.
artifacts are still part of the game. I've just come to terms with that because it seems like all games have that to give you something to grind for. Like Diablo and those games are built on RNG grind, on a chance to get an upgrade. Even like single player games, even the regular Final Fantasies and Kingdom Hearts, to get the ultimate weapons, you needed like low chance based drops to get it and then craft the ultimate weapon. It's
Well, again, if I do a comparison with another Eden, the place where I'm at right now, I'm at the end game, and to craft the end game weapons, you need to beat certain bosses that only appear like in 10% of the dungeons that you run.
exactly,
So
yeah.
you have to grind like a madman just to find out one specific enemy, and you need to beat him like 3 or 4 times to get 3 or 4 drops for
Yeah.
one weapon. So,
And you told me that like the class upgrade mats are also random drops that you can only
yep.
run daily amounts too, right? So I'm saying like I've just sadly accepted that there's always going to be an RNG element in every game and that they do it to artificially extend the grind, basically. Game developers are like, "Oh, it's that much more exciting if you get a rare drop." I think it's bullshit, but I've come to like
Well,
accept
it's that much more interesting the first time. It's no longer fun the 50th time, or the 100th time or something.
it. Mhm.
Y-
Um Roll
like, again, to make another comparison in another ed, and they've had that kind of thing twice where if you get like 300,000 points, all across your grind to get that many points in a certain dungeon, you get rewards at certain level. Well, at least I could calculate. Well, I'm sick and tired of grinding, but come on, Pierre, you've got 3 more runs to do, and then you'll be done forever with it. I just find it a whole lot more fun to schedule and plan out throughout a certain period, and it gives me a feeling of achievement once I've reached that point and know that I've done it and it's
Yeah.
over for good.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry to address the chat that we've been ignoring too long.
Hello, chat. We love
Roba
you.
Roba is Sulkin, who is a veteran JP player, says summon board potioning is necessary if you want the most efficient farming because there are synergy characters for
yeah.
2 weeks,
Mhm.
just like because it works on ×2. You know how synergy characters get ×2 EXP. So for summon boards, they rotate every 2 weeks, and maybe you want to burn a potion to get double EXP as much as possible. So
Right.
that's very true. I don't think I'm nearly as hardcore. Let's see what happens when it drops. I don't know if I'm going to kill myself, but all those people farming perfect artifacts will probably kill themselves to do that. Aeroli says game companies hire psychologists for this kind of stuff. Seeing how RNG affects players and probably creates addiction.
Yeah.
So
The neuroscience behind
it's another gambling mechanic, right? It's like, oh, I
your
killed this thing.
random
Well,
artifact coming up,
yeah.
perfect, and when it does, the dopamine hit when that happens, versus like working towards something. Your brain doesn't really enjoy working towards things. Like even though your parents said, if you work for it, you'll like it better. That's crap, right? Your brain doesn't care about that. But your brain loves when you get stuff quickly, and it's that kind of excitement, and that hits the dopamine. So, woohoo. So, yeah, very right, Arrow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Robo once more is following up saying it takes about 50 potions to get one-third character's master board and all chests open with ×3 books running. So,
Woo.
yeah, it's going to be a hell of a grind. I am not the type to kill myself over this grind. Let's see what happens when chaos comes. But so far, as someone who notoriously does not grind artifacts at all, I have the shittiest artifacts. Anyone who's my friend in the game knows that my artifacts are dog shit. Every time they see my assist character, I get told regularly, "Why are your artifacts so terrible, Mino?" Because I don't bother spending any time grinding it, and I've been able to complete all content so far, no problem without it. I know that Chaos has a stricter requirement coming up. There's this big argument on the subreddit too. A lot of JP players are saying, sure, you don't need perfect artifacts or perfect summon boards to clear Chaos, but you need at least adequate ones depending on the character, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't need a perfect grind. It'll help, but it's also not necessarily. Eventually, I'm going to have to shoot for middle of the road artifacts and at least minimal summon board completion. But I just don't think needing hundreds of hours of grind to play the game is a good design, and I really doubt they're gonna force it.
Chris wants to ask you, Mino, didn't you struggle with Agrias?
But I beat it, so
Pom pom.
get out, Professor Kreese.
All right,
You're not wanted here.
Let's move on. So, Mark, you've been working on a little Q&A thingy.
Yes, it's
So
Q&A
I'll let you
time.
lead that one.
Haha! So we're gonna do all of you joining us online. Welcome. Glad you can be with us. We do have a little Q&A from your questions for us. I split them up into two unique areas. I'm just grabbing the Discord chat. So all of you joining us, if you would like to ask us any questions during the week, just join our Discord. I shared it there in the Twitch chat. I'm RevHP on Twitch, I should say that. And you can join our official Discord and join this anytime you want. But for our Q&A, I split it into a couple sections. The first section is just about us and about the show. The next section will be about the game, and we want to take some questions from you tonight listening. So if you have any questions, wait for when we ask, and we'll maybe pick a couple questions from Twitch chat. So Ariole says, "Why did you guys start the show? Has the original reasons for keeping it going changed over time?" So Pierre, that's a you question.
Um, let's see. Back when I was playing Final Fantasy Record Keeper, I was, I wanted to have uh, a podcast. I felt I was already starting to run. Oh God, what was the name of the site I had back there?
FFRK Central.
FFRK Central. Thank you. And I was very strongly opinionated, and if that's a word or something, and I wanted to have a podcast to talk about what I wanted to do, and my opinions about the game and everything. So that's how it started. So
And oh yeah,
I went on Twitter and asked if people wanted to join that idea, and someone say, "Hey, yeah, I'm willing to go," and we started, and the rest is history. And I won't go further because if I go further, I'm going to ruin next question.
yeah.
So
Soul Knight asks, "How did Mark and Pierre meet? How did Mark and Pierre meet?" Well, it was a little bistro in Ottawa, Canada, where no, I was doing a YouTube series FFRK Basics for Final Fantasy Record Keeper, just a series to help some friends that had started playing. I don't know how long, maybe 6 months after the game, and reached out to Pierre and said, "Hey, I'm doing this series. Can I be on your show or something like that?" And they let me be on their show and talk about the series that I was doing, and then I just stuck around. So that's how that worked.
because the original show we were two co-hosts, and I have to say, once we had Mark on for one of the show, we realized that the synergy with three hosts was much better than just two people talking to each other about a game. Just the fact that there was more back and forth between us felt much more alive, and yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, that's how it all happened.
Yep,
Macno
we've been in love
says,
ever since.
"Did you jump straight from FFRK to Dissidia? Was there downtime not playing FF mobile games or instead an overlap playing both?" Um, I can answer for me. There was some downtime between the time that I stopped playing FFRK and started playing Dissidia. Um, I played Mobius and Brave Exvius. I did not play Mobius or Brave Exvius during the downtime. During the downtime, I played Dragon Ball Z Legends. I still play that. I played um, Bleach, Brave Souls. There's a few other games I think I played in the downtime, but I have been playing Dissidia since day one. I stopped playing FFRK like 2.5 years into it. So
All right.
that's my answer.
As for me, there was definitely some downtime in which I got tired of FFRK. The CD hadn't been a thing yet, and once the CD launched, it was very tempting. As we all got excited and got in the game, it was very tempting to try and get the team back together. And luckily, Mark was open to the idea, so we restarted the podcast and decided that to call it season two. So, yep.
That's why it's called season
Um,
two.
I'm not part of the original cast. I didn't come with FFRK, but I just want to throw in. I played Fire Emblem
Oh,
Heroes
I played
until this
Fire Emblem
game.
Heroes too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we
This
all did.
game, this game made me quit it. Thank God. I think I got mad at that game when the power creep started becoming absurd, and I heard it's even worse today.
Yeah, it is.
That like
Yeah.
every week or two, new units are making the old units look like crap. And
And that's a PvP
I
game, so that's even
yeah,
worse.
and I tried to get into FFRK late, like 3 years late, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm imagining Dissidia is going to end up at there some point. Wow, like there's like 5-6 tiers of weapons in FFRK now,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, right.
you need to pull the best. Not only do you need to pull the best one, I think you need some early ones to be good too, like burst ones and
Yeah, but there's
some
no
of
like
the.
weapon shop or anything. There's some like early banners that you can get, but yeah, that's a whole nother question. So
Yeah,
yeah, so Mino, I have a couple questions for you.
great.
Ito asks, why can't Mino spell good?
You included
Boom,
that. Who
Yeah.
screened these questions? Who
Nobody.
screened these
It's
questions?
me.
Trash questions. Uh,
because he's
because
drunk.
if my name
Because he's
is
educated in the
Minos,
United States.
yeah. if my those are both very valid answers. If I didn't write this one down already, I would go with those. But the one I'm sticking to is if my name is Mino Spellgood, is gonna blink twice if I make typos or say something dumb. They'll just think it's part of the act. Easy win.
There you go.
And Eamon asks, why can't, or why can't, what's Mino's top 10 list?
Top 10 what?
I don't know. The one that included Kane. The reason you wanted to pull for Kane so bad.
Jesus Christ.
so who-
like favorite characters?
Yeah,
10 favorite FF characters? I don't think anyone.
Don't give us 10, but give us a
Huh?
few. Give us a few.
All right.
Give
I
us
don't
2 or
think,
3.
first of all, I just want to say, I don't think anyone can name top 10 favorite FF characters. There's not that many good characters in Final Fantasy. But, moving on.
7, 8, 9, 10. There's 5.
I'm gonna pat on my list like that. Kane, Sabin, Jekt, Shantoto. I don't fucking know.
I'm not familiar with that character.
Which one?
I don't know.
Riku from FF10.
Yes. I had a thing for Riku.
Help me. Okay, so
No, that's
can I
good.
throw in Warrior of Light? I'm gonna throw in Warrior of Light. I'm gonna
Why
finish
not?
this 10. Warrior of Light. No one in 2. No one in 3.
Mm-hmm.
No one else in 4.
Mhm.
No one in 5.
I thought you were a big Rydia fan.
No, that's
Realm?
Glacy you're thinking of.
Realm?
Yeah. Realm and Edgar. I'll throw in Edgar.
Edgar.
I think Edgar's pretty cool.
You're not a big Locke fan?
7. Sid Highwind. Sure, why not?
Oh, Sid. Yeah.
8. No, skip. 9. I like Amarant. I know that's an unpopular opinion, and I think I have one more to go. So let's go 10, 11, 12. You know, Bosch and Balthier are pretty cool. So I'm going to round out the list with those.
All right.
And then 7, 8, 9.
DropX says, or Deproximate, I believe that's the name Deproximate uses, right? Dropbox.
Sure.
Uh,
Dropbox.
Yeah, Dropbox. What is your? That's what I'm using right now to read this. What was your first contact to the Final Fantasy universe, and which Final Fantasy game best left the biggest impression? My first Final Fantasy game was Final Fantasy on the Nintendo
Me too.
Entertainment System.
Me too.
Siri. Okay. So Mark, what's your? This is a little. We'll take like a sentence or two.
I had a Nintendo when I was 6, 7, 8, and had Final Fantasy as one of those games that I played over the many years that I had that Nintendo. The shelf life of that Nintendo was very long, and yeah, so I think the first Final Fantasy game that I really got into though was Final Fantasy IX. I played Final Fantasy IX in college for well over 100 hours, played it to completion, then went back and did 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 before then getting PlayStation 2 and playing 10.
How about you, Pierre?
I played Final Fantasy 1 when I was very young. My older brother was playing it. I was watching him do it. I didn't speak I didn't speak or understand a lick of English back then. And the music and the graphics scared the living shit out of me. I was really young. I would make nightmare at the dungeon you have to go to wake up the Elf Prince. Yeah, that whole place gave me the jitters. Then I got a Game Boy, and I got all of the Final Fantasy, well, if you would call them Final Fantasy, I learned after that was all a big fraud. But anyway, all of the Final Fantasy games, and actually, Final Fantasy is part of the way as a young children that I learned my basic English because I would run to my mother every other fucking minute to ask, "What's he saying? What's he saying?" and all of that. And that's how I learned, the beginnings. Before I could say a complete sentence, I could tell you like a sword and I could tell you all the weapons, and it might have looked a little bit odd on the outside, but yeah, I knew words, and I was able to complete games before I understood what they were saying. As for the game that left the biggest impression, that is, without a single doubt, Final Fantasy VI. It's engraved in my heart. It's the Final Fantasy that I'll always go back to. Obviously, not that stupid, ugly ass remake they did, but the basic one.
Mm.
All right.
Mine's was also FF1. I remember as a toddler, my dad played a lot of video games. He played FF1, and for some reason, I loved watching that one, even though I didn't understand much. When I tried to play, I had no idea what I was doing. I never beat that game as a kid. I had to come back as an adult. But I remember I would play it nonstop because I didn't know how to save. So all I would do was start the game and try to get to Garland empty-handed because I didn't know how to buy anything or equip anything. So
Didn't
that
we
whole
all?
game, yeah, that whole game was just getting to Garland over and over and over. And then of course he got FF4, which was 2 in the States, and then 3, which was 6 in the States. And eventually I think like 6 is going to make the biggest impact. I think it's the best one anyways. It holds up to the test of time. But that was also, I think, the first one I was able to beat myself because I think when that came out, I was at least late elementary school, entering middle school, and could finally handle a complex game. Next
Very
question,
cool.
Mark?
Yeah, boy, Kazith says, if you could, this is a great question. If you could pick one Final Fantasy class for yourself in real life, what would it be? Example, Summoner, White Mage, Thief, Paladin, etc.
I would pick whichever class gets sleep. I think that's Black Mage, so
Black
that I
Mage,
could go to
nice.
sleep on demand.
Oh,
Done.
that would be nice. Oh, wow, that's a good one. That's a really
Mark, you'd be
I have that
priest,
problem.
right?
What?
Who doesn't as an adult?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Pierre. What were you saying?
You'd be a priest, right?
Paladin. Yeah, Paladin is one of my favorite classes in any fantasy genre.
I like to say paladin because they're badass, but to be honest, if we're talking about what's closest to us, I would be a red mage because even in real
Red
life,
Mage.
I am totally a jack of all trade, most definitely master of none kind of guy. So this is what, you know, suits me best in terms of myself, my own person.
Very nice. Emiratu says, how much alcohol did Mino
Wait, what was
consume
that? Who
since...
who asked this question again?
Em-
Sorry, I didn't catch it the first time.
Emiratu? You know who I'm talking about.
That's what I'm gonna call him from now on.
Did I miss a joke there, or?
I cannot
No.
pronounce
Oh,
Mataratsu's
okay.
name. Something about the A
Okay, that's good.
messes me up. Mataratsu. How much alcohol
Tiramisu.
did Minu consume? Damn it,
Are
Mino.
you
Since episode 1, how much have you drank tonight on air?
tonight? Not that much because I ran out of alcohol. But
Yeah, that'll be a good reason.
exactly. But I think I drink about. So I don't actually take shots, but I measure my alcohol in shots. If that makes sense with
Mhm.
shot cups because I drink hard liquor. So I do about a shot and a half worth of alcohol whenever we do this podcast. How much is that? That's not much, right?
That's not
That,
much.
Please
that's
tell
not
me that's not.
much.
Thank
You
you.
have a very weak tolerance to alcohol, my
You
friend.
are yes on the lighter side of things.
I like to think of it as I had this whole explanation, but basically, like when you're out drinking at a party or a bar, it's different. You kind of got to keep your wits about you. But when you're at home and you got nothing to do and you're just gonna drink, you kind of let your guard down. You kind of let it hit instead of putting up a.
Are we still talking about alcohol?
Yes.
I don't know.
Also, no. Just to clarify. I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I don't get that drunk on these podcasts, guys. Maybe on the drunk streams with
that was pretty
Anta,
bad.
but on the podcast, come on, guys. I'm trying to be professional. Only a shot and a half.
Very good. Well, hey, Locke is live. Do we want to take a minute to do our free draws, or have you guys already done your free draws?
I already did my free
was
draw.
about to do it. Like I had the little finger pointing on the orbs.
Do it. But I did it, and all I got was Setzer 15 CP on my extra. So I got one of the worst draws ever. I would have been happy with a Setzer 35 because I don't have that MLB yet. But yeah, sorry guys. We're doing this episode a little early because of scheduling issues. Avengers Endgame is tomorrow. I'm Balin tomorrow.
Yeah, I have my tickets too.
Yeah, and we have a special Q&A that will lead up to at the end of the episode. So yeah, sorry we're not covering the content, but we promise we'll get to Locke next week.
So I just did the poll. I have Sedzers 15 and 35 and Celes 15.
I got Galoff 15. Okay, and Locke 35.
Ooh, Locke 35. You know what? That's not bad. That's not a bad thing to have.
And I did another one, and I got Locke 35 and fucking Hope 15.
Yeah.
So at least you guys are getting Locke 35s. That's like the second biggest prize on the banner, right?
That is right. All right, so let's talk about the game Q&A. A few questions about the actual Dissidia game before we end our time here tonight. Dropman says, "What is your biggest regret pull thus far into the game?" Biggest regret.
Am I going first? Am I going first? Like, how do I choose between 145k gems and $37 on Tidus EX and not getting that? Again, I spent real money chasing that, so I'm really pissed about that. Or the 75k gem Kane Pity that Kreese talked me into and I never wanted to fucking do. Like, I can't pick between. There's just so many good options for me to hate the game, but those are my two. I'm going to go with Tidus because I didn't get that fucking weapon. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, it's rough. I think I spent quite a bit getting Sarah's kit originally, her 35 and 15 CP, and I've almost never used her. And so I think that's a big regret for me. Most of the other characters.
Wait, how many gems did you spend?
I don't have any idea. Most of the other characters I pulled for, I don't regret. So,
Pierre,
probably all of the early EXs. It took a while for me to finally get an EX.
Mm-hmm.
So my biggest regret would definitely be investing too much in this. But, ever since that shout event in FFRK where I spent upward of $500 and never got the stupid ass weapon, it's been a lesson to, not go crazy in them gachas. So,
yeah. There it goes.
At least you learn. I'm still dropping tons of money on this game, so
yeah, get a house, wife, and kids. It'll teach you a couple lessons.
I know, right? That's what Mark was telling me. Mark is saying you want to learn how to budget, get a wife and kids. So
yeah, mortgage too. I mean,
that helps.
It helps. It just adds on to the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
Papery Tiger says, "Has DFFOO made you like characters more than in their respective games? If so, which? So, are there any characters you like more because of DFFOO, like Lael?" Like,
No.
For me, it's
Leo?
made me hate my favorite characters more
Oh,
Yeah.
because all
interesting.
of my characters are trash. Sabin is
Interesting.
trash for the GL run. We're talking about GL right now. Sabin's trash. Kane had a very, very brief period of being. No, he didn't. He was supposed to be good. Saz 35 stole that spotlight from him. Shantoto's trash, and Jekt is mediocre. So it's
Yeah.
made me hate Final Fantasy more
Hmm.
overall. Any
Nice.
characters I appreciate more?
Oh,
Let's
that's funny.
see. What characters do I use a lot? Actually, it made me like Realm more. I like Realm's kit a lot, which helps in this game. And I guess I had some more appreciation for Noctis, but anything more than 0 is more. So Vaughn, I guess, sure. But I mean, honestly, for me, not too much, but it is a lot of nostalgia, right? It does make you want to play some of the games again with your favorite character. How about you, Mark?
Um, I think there's characters that I wasn't a huge Selfie fan, even though I like all the characters in Final Fantasy VIII. I think playing using Selfie regularly, I like her a lot more. There's characters like Zaz. No, I love Zaz actually. He's one of my favorite characters in that game. Um, uh, Terra maybe. I mean, I wasn't a huge Terra fan, but I liked using her. Uh, who else was I looking at? Ico is kind of the same thing. Uh, Vaughn, same thing. Thancred, I never played Final Fantasy 14. Pablamo, Thancred, I love them. I love those guys. I never played that game though, so yeah.
Pierre?
I share your answer, Mino, 100%. It made me hate characters, and for those I didn't much care about, it didn't change anything. So
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think any of the super meta characters ever made me like the character more.
Hmm,
Like, for example, Kate Sith being meta does not fucking mean I'm ever gonna play Kate Sith if I replay FF7.
that's true.
Like, it does not change my opinion at all.
So Wadabu asks, what about the series that DFFO doesn't get any love from? Do you think it's fair that some games have massive overrepresentation compared to the options available?
he doesn't mention any specific series you have in mind in his question. Is he talking about like Final Fantasy 3 or?
I think he's talking about Type Zero with its like 10 characters in the game,
I
But
right?
nobody
think
cares
I
about Type Zero. The fact there's this many Type Zero characters in this bloody game. I mean, enough is enough. How many freaking
well, I think that's his point. Is there are some games that have tons of characters, and other games that, for example, Final Fantasy 3, which has a character, Final Fantasy 1, which has a character, Final Fantasy 2. Well, I mean, there's not a lot of characters in Final Fantasy 2, but there are some characters, some games that have tons of characters in them, including Type Zero.
I mean, I don't know. Like they said right now they're doing all playable characters first before any side or guest characters. So,
Yeah, like Cypher, Raijin, and Fujin.
yeah, exactly. And
Good,
Beatrix.
good old
Um,
playable character. Well, you did play Beatrix actually once in the game, as opposed to
I
Cypher,
guess. I
Raijin,
mean,
and
by
Fujin.
that logic, Ward and Kuro should be here any day now.
And yes, because you actually play them as opposed to Cypher, Raijin, and Kujin.
Right. Well, anyways, that's their claim. So some games just have more playable characters. I'm sure that once they get that out of the way, games like FF2 and FF3 with a ton of guest characters will be flooding the freaking roster.
Where's my Scott? That's all I want to know. Where's Scott? I want to play Scott.
Honestly, I don't care who they put in as long as they do a good job. I don't want them to put Riku in and have her be absolutely crap. So whatever. They take their time, and she's usable for a while. That's all I ask for.
Yeah. Red Kane asks, what characters do people think are currently overhyped and should probably be skipped, if not personal favorites? What characters does everyone view as must-pulls for the future Cosmos and Chaos difficulties?
Let's
I'll
do.
skip that one.
We could do one each really quick, right? I don't want to do a big long list though. Yeah, but Kuja for sure, easy skip if you're not a fan. And a must-have coming up. I don't know, Vayne, Renoa, one of those two. What did a JP player told me? They told me only 3 or 4 characters make it in the Cosmos era from now, and
Right.
that's Renoa, Sephiroth, and Zack are the only characters that are going to survive the Cosmos transition.
I thought Warrior of Light makes it.
Oh, he's after. He
He
awakens
comes
after Cosmos comes
Okay, yeah, you're talking about
before Cosmos.
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say Warrior of Light is a must pull. Warrior of Light is crazy broken. Hopefully you got his EX. I don't have his EX. If you didn't, his EX Plus and his level 70 rework is crazy. His rework, and then he gets to be level 70. Who's overhyped? Lena is overhyped. So
Fuck you! How dare you? Cut the podcast right now. We're gonna throw. We get better. You better get ready to catch these hands.
Oh. All right. LaFarl. In the host's opinions, who are the 3 characters with the worst or least helpful awakening in the 60 era?
Furion is one. I'm gonna throw that out there right now.
Furion's in the bottom?
Yeah, of least changes. Are we talking about like least changes to their awakening, or
no? I think
what are we talking about?
The entire 60 era. So we have awakened all of our main characters. There's just some LCs we're catching up on. So of all of the 60 awakenings we have so far, who's the worst? The worst 3.
Oh, that's easy. Cater, Irvine.
Cater doesn't.
How many are we allowed to list? How many are we allowed to list?
3.
Cater.
It's 3, but I'm giving you mine.
Yeah,
so.
here's a ton. Here's Cater, here's Irvine, and Raijin. Sure, why not? If you don't want to count Raijin, I'll throw in Ishtola.
Ooh, ouch. Yeah, I think Cater and Raijin are definitely on the bottom of the list. Irvine didn't really hit anybody, didn't last very long. Sabin really didn't go anywhere. What about Leon? Leon's garbage, right?
I mean, he's better than they are.
He had an event that he was pretty good on, right? So, yeah.
Someone used him for an event or two after, too. So.
Nice. Nice. I think Furion had a little time in the sun.
I guess, just because there was no competition.
Yeah, Cyan. Cyan would be another bottom of the
barrel.
Yeah, let's throw him in there.
Yeah, Cyan and Tifa. Tifa's not doing so good either in this era, but she's going to get her EX pretty soon, so woohoo! Leon who? Oh, yeah. All right, final question from the pre-questions. So we might take a couple questions from Twitch. If there's any questions, let us know. Keep attention. Operator Joe says, how do you guys feel about the content progression so far? Are you enjoying the game less or more at this point?
That's a really good question, actually. You first, Mark.
I am enjoying the game about the same. I like every time there's a big update and we get the new calendar, and then by the end of the month, I'm like, I need new content. Where's my content? But for the time, I like.
Maybe a side question: has the calendar made you happier with the game, or has it changed anything? The fact that they've had a clear calendar of what to expect and when.
I'm a little happier with the I'm happier that there is a calendar instead of not having one. So I guess that works.
I would rather have a calendar than
nothing
than just rely on our data mining.
Yeah.
I don't mind relying on data mining. Obviously, we did that for quite some time. But I like having the calendar, and I mean, we already know what's going on in Japan, so I think the cool thing about the calendar, like last month's calendar was a dud, but this month's calendar, there are some things that, some things that we weren't expecting, or some new things, or you can say, oh, okay, I wasn't thinking about these World Evolutions, or I wasn't thinking about these heretics, and so that's kind of fun to see that kind of stuff. The way they hid stuff from last month's calendar, or this current month's calendar, I think was stupid. I don't think it helped anything. I think they should just put everything on the calendar, and
Well, I
then
mean,
you'll be excited.
as was argued on our Discord, though, they made a good point: is that you can't take it as a monthly calendar; it's a
No, no,
patch
no.
calendar. They didn't want to put
No, but
Locke
I'm
on
talking
because
about
he
like
didn't
the
think he
spring
was
hunts, and I mean they really didn't like the spring events, like all that stuff really wasn't in there. There were things that were not represented on the calendar that we ended up getting this month, this calendar.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's
Yeah,
not month, this calendar. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Oh wait, Pierre, are you? Oh wait, hold on. We
Yes.
didn't finish answering the question. Pierre, did you have any opinions about liking or not liking the game more? And then I got a quick one too.
I think I'm pretty much burned out on DFFOO, so it doesn't really, every time there's a patch or anything, I get excited for a good 5 minutes, and then it deflates quickly. So
That's fair. Is there anything specific that kills that excitement?
it's just more the same. So
That's fair. Um, for me, I am actually personally enjoying the game more because it's more challenging now. I know that challenge is going to go down and it's going to go up and down as we go, but I understand if people are frustrated by the difficulty because again, people play at different levels. I actually really do like it's challenge. Before we were talking about a month or two ago, right? Like you're just going through the motions. You could like auto battle most of this, logging in, clearing, and I like where it's going, but I totally understand if this is not perfect game balance to pull in a larger audience.
All right. Well, that's I guess that wraps up. I don't see anything on Twitch right now, so everyone's talking about Locke. So we want to talk about Locke real quick, Mino, since you did. Since someone did a evaluation.
Oh, do we want to talk about Locke? All right. Well, as we said earlier, Locke is considered garbage. Please prove me wrong. There's a little background on it, as we've said. So in JP, was such a controversial character because the player base was so split on it. People couldn't agree if he was good or bad. Ultima put him as a C tier on his launch, and players disagreed fiercely, so much so that if anyone was around a year ago, I'm sure people remember that Ultima got rid of their tier list for a month or two because people were saying that their tier list was so bullshit and biased because of Locke. So let's see what GL thinks. I'm really interested to see Macnell's posts and how Locke fares in the coming month. As a pure DPS, he's going to get overridden really quick with Quistis and Kuja coming out. He's reliant on sneak attack mechanic, which Lion is, which proved very unpopular. But they do say that if everything lines up, if he gets a sneak attack and he gets sneak slash plus, everything lines up, he'll do a lot of damage, but it's not consistent. So he's an extremely controversial character. He has a gimmick of stealing an item from the enemy. It could be one of two random unique buffs. One is speed oriented that boosts his speed, gives him some eye brave regen, and gives him consecutive turns, miracle shoots, and Genji gloves, which gives him attack up and a stronger brave plus HP on his HP plus. Um, uh, his second ability is so his first ability sneak slash, it's just like realm, he gets a plus on every other use. The plus has the brave to HP, and his second ability is Phoenix Ray, which for a DPS is pretty unique because it heals up to 20% HP on all his party members, which is a pretty hefty heal, right? 5 charges means 100% total. It's a minor brave battery, and I guess that separates him from someone like Thancred. But his whole gimmick is being an extremely fast single target melee brave shaver, which Thancred does much, 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 much better than he does by a mile.
Right.
good review.
Okay.
All right. We'll cover the EX fight and everything else next week, as we just literally launched seconds ago. I think that kind of leaves us with content. So we talked about what's coming, and I will move it over to Pierre, as some of you may have already figured out from Twitch. This will be Pierre's at least last official show with us, as he's no longer playing this game. People have been asking on Discord, Pierre hasn't logged in 12 days. Yeah, because he's not playing the game. That's a good reason not to
Yeah,
do that.
sorry guys. I know on Discord people have been asking for Pierre for a while, and Pierre, that should just tell you how beloved and missed you are. But we were trying to hold off this. We didn't want to say anything. We wanted to hold the announcement off for a while until we could get all of the co-hosts together again, and that's why we did this Q&A on an off day and everything. As and
Yeah, originally we were supposed, I had announced to the guys 2 weeks ago that my next episode would be Curtain's Call, and ironically enough, it was episode 50. But then that morning, I heard that my mom had been admitted in the hospital. Nothing major. She's out and everything, but obviously timing sucked. So we moved it to this episode, which is kind of ironic because tomorrow the Avengers movie is coming out and it's called Endgame. So that's what I'm going to call this podcast, Endgame, because it is what it is for me. It's been quite a ride. It's been super fun. Uh, I I will deeply miss uh, Mino and Mark and all of you guys listening and live with us on Twitch. But at the end of the day, I no longer play the game, and I feel like you know just dead weight on the show. That I don't contribute really anything to it in my own personal opinion. So uh, I figured the best thing I could do for the show was leave the space to someone who actually has something uh, to provide to it, something to add to it.
Well, Pierre, for me personally, I want to say thank you so much. There would not be a DFFOO podcast at all without you. You've made tremendous contributions to FFRK and the DFFOO community. And honestly, I got attracted to this show because of the chemistry you and Mark had and the passion you put into the work. So honestly, without you, we would not be here today.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. Again, I will definitely miss these evenings with all of you. And yeah, so yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you,
Anything
Pierre.
to add, Mark?
Yeah, thank you, Pierre. Well, we've been doing this for a long time, for a couple of years now. So, but yes, things change, and as games go, we know they ebb and flow. But Pierre's not going to be dead. He's going to be around, just not
Oh yeah, no,
playing
I'm
DFFOO.
definitely
For
not.
for Sism in chat, who is genuinely and understandably worried about what will happen to our tech side with Pierre gone, Pierre has, at
You
least for
should be.
now,
You
I
should
think,
be.
volunteered to help us with our sound leveling and podcast conversion. Right?
Yeah, basically, I'm staying behind the scenes to do the producing of the episodes. Mark is now in charge of social media, which I believe will be a great thing because that was definitely lacking on my end. I'll keep footing the bill for Simplecast and all of that, but the day-to-day operation will be in Mino's and Mark's hands, which are very good hands. I can tell you that. That sounded dirtier than
Ooh.
I was originally planning.
Yeah. So
It
Pierre,
that did not go out well at all.
as long as he's willing, as long as he's willing to put up with it, will help us produce the show, and so we thank him for that. And we will work on that. So we are thankful that we have some great collaborators already. Increase and Manta and Macnol, and there's a few others
Quetz.
Quetz and Areoli, and there's a few others who were just already we're Amaratsu, who does have his own channel. He's great too. And we're also going to be potentially, if Kreese, of course, has been filling in for us, and we love Kreese, and he'll probably continue to fill in a lot of times. But if that's not the reality, if he can't be here every week with us, we will probably look to have some other friends on the show, some guest hosts, and try to also get some of our other content creators on and talk about what they do and do some other things. So look forward to that. I do want to say we just want to keep, as we kept Pierre's mom in our thoughts and vibes and prayers, or whatever you got. We want to keep 40 in our thoughts. He's going to be not streaming for a while and off the media wagon here, as he's having some personal struggles in his family, and so I just keep him in your thoughts and prayers, and send him some good vibes. We love 40 and all the work that the Broadway Saiyan does on his channel, so we encourage you to give him some time and embrace him when he comes back. Hopefully he will. So that's all I got.
All right. So, Mark, I officially pass over the baton to you to close the show.
Yes, well, thank you for listening. The Crystal Chronicles, your official, unofficial, officially official Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. If you want to check in with us, you can always go to our website at tccpodcast.com. You can join us on Twitter or Facebook. It is at FFTCC Podcast on Twitter. It is the Crystal Chronicles on Facebook, and at Twitch, it is the Crystal Chronicles. Come join us on our Discord. Go to our website and join us on Discord. You can talk to us during the week. We are a very active Discord community that is semi-modded. We were unmodded until this week. Now we're semi-modded, but we do just have a good time there. So thank you all on Twitch. Thank you all listening on your favorite podcast app, or on YouTube, or on Twitch later on. We appreciate it. Good luck on your free pulls. Good luck on the content coming up on this week. And for Pierre, Mino Spellgood, and myself, we wish you all the best until next week. Goodbye.